Okay, we've all been there. You've got this incredible, game-changing idea. You've done the work, you know it's brilliant, but the second you stand up to present it, something just fizzles. Today, we're going to talk about how to fix that. So your great ideas don't just get heard, they actually get people to act. I mean, have you ever felt that? That sinking feeling where your amazing concept gets totally lost in translation during a presentation? You know your stuff is solid, but you look out at the audience and you just see blank stares. The energy in the room just dies, and you're left wondering, what went wrong? Well, here's the good news, and this is really important. The problem is almost never your idea. Nope, it almost always comes down to two things that you have complete control over: the architecture, how you actually build the story, and the delivery, how you present it physically. Nailing these isn't just about sounding better, it's about making sure your brilliant ideas get the momentum they truly deserve. So where do we start? Well, it all begins with what I call the presentation post-mortem. Sounds a bit dramatic, I know, but really, it's just about taking an honest look back, because you can't figure out where you're going until you know exactly where you are right now. And this exercise is super simple, but so powerful. Just open a document and make two columns. On one side, list your strengths. What do you absolutely nail every time? Maybe you're great with data, or you always have a killer opening. Awesome. But then on the other side, you've got to be brutally honest about the weaknesses. Do your transitions feel clunky? Do you fidget like crazy? Write it all down. But don't just do this alone. The source material really drives this home. You need an outside perspective. It's all about getting that group discussion going. Grab a colleague you trust and just ask them, hey, what did you really think? You would be amazed at the blind spots they'll point out that you would never see on your own. Okay, once you've got that self-awareness, it's time to rebuild your presentation's architecture. And the first, most powerful tool in our toolbox is something called signposting. Think of it this way: you're essentially giving your audience a map for the journey you're about to take them on. So what is signposting, really? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's using clear, simple verbal cues to help your audience follow along. You know, like road signs on a highway. They tell people where you've just been, where you are right now, and, crucially, where you're headed next. It makes it impossible for them to get lost. And the difference this makes is huge. Just look at this. Without signposting, you might just say, we analyzed the data. It's so abrupt, right? Your audience is left thinking, wait, what? But with signposting, you say something like, okay, now that we've covered the methodology, let's turn to our first key finding. See that? You've connected the dots. It's a smooth, logical transition. You're guiding them, not just throwing facts at them. But listen, having a great map isn't enough if the tour guide looks totally lost, right? That's why a solid structure has to be paired with a confident delivery. And that brings us to our second big idea: owning your physical space. This is all about the art of what's called front positioning. Front positioning is all about using your body, your stance, your movement, to broadcast confidence and presence. It's all that nonverbal stuff that just screams, I know what I'm talking about, I'm comfortable, and you should definitely listen. It's incredibly powerful. Let's make this super clear. We've all seen a weak presence, right? The person shifting their weight from foot to foot, hands jammed in their pockets, eyes darting everywhere but at the audience. It just radiates nervousness. But a strong presence? That is intentional. It's a centered, balanced stance, open gestures, and moving with a real sense of purpose. It tells a completely different, much more confident story. So how do you actually do this? It's simpler than you think. It really breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, center your stance. Literally, plant your feet. Feel grounded and stable. Second, use open gestures. Get those hands out of your pockets and use them to emphasize your points. And third, move with purpose. Don't just pace back and forth. If you walk to a new spot on the stage, do it to signal a new idea. Then plant yourself again. All right, so now we've got our 2 main ingredients: a great structure and a confident delivery. But the real magic, the true power, is unlocked when you combine them. Signposting and front positioning aren't 2 separate skills to practice. They work together in tandem to create that maximum impact we're all aiming for. And really, it all boils down to this simple formula: a clear structure using signposting that gives your audience the what, it's the logic, the map, but a confident delivery using front positioning that gives them the why they should care, why they should get invested. You put those 2 together and bam, that's how you make a real lasting impact. So as we wrap up, I want you to think about the next presentation you have on your calendar. It's not just a deck of slides, it's a blank canvas. And now you have the tools, a clear map for your audience, and the confidence to command the room.
So the only question left is, how are you going to paint it?